It's time we hand over the airwaves to one James Creedon, who's here with the feature he calls Media Watch. And, well, as ever, you've got a mixed menu for us tonight, right. Starting with some serious stuff, and there's some funny stuff too. Let's get the serious stuff out of the way.
Yes.
The latest on Dominique Strauss-Kahn.
That's right. It's been big news in France today. The rolling news channel BFM TV got their hands on the CCTV footage from the hotel that Edward Epstein, investigative journalist, mentioned so extensively in his article
a few weeks ago. So this is the stuff that was at the centre of the claims that Strauss-Kahn had been set up.
That's right. There was this article that it pointed out a lot of inconsistencies or sort of bizarre kind of details in the whole day and a day or two surrounding Dominique Strauss-Kahn's arrest. For example, CCTV footage showing two security guards shortly after the alleged sexual assault and before his arrest started dancing, doing this incredible celebratory dance, and we can see it here. Now, the thing is, Edward Epstein said this lasted 3 minutes. He told France 2 here in France that it lasted 4 minutes. And actually, this footage shows, from what we can tell in any case, that it lasted some 12, 13 seconds. And that's the Sofitel Hotel story as well.
And again, there's no indication from that footage what they're celebrating or anything, is there?
Right.
The previous footage we saw while you were talking was Strauss-Kahn actually checking out the hotel, getting into a taxi and looking fairly calm.
That's right. Now, BFM TV did a lot of, what would you say, editorial comment on it, saying, look, he did not seem like he had just been involved in some sort of sexual assault. He seemed very calm. Nafissatou Diallo as well was shown sitting for 8 minutes on a bench looking, what BFM TV said was relatively calm as well. But, you know, I suppose, how do you know how somebody behaves after a sexual assault?
We're seeing Diallo now explaining to someone in security what's happened to her. That she's gesticulating. Right. She seems to be doing that. But in that same corridor, as you say, you see her sat down by herself, which maybe is as much a comment on the way Sofitel looks after its employees as anything else.
I think the central thing that came out of this is that it doesn't really, apart from the fact that the time difference between Epstein's claim that the dance lasted 4 minutes and this video footage that shows it lasting 15 seconds, it doesn't disprove or prove categorically anything really that we didn't already know or didn't.
It gives us more to talk about, and I think basically you could say yes, it supports his case, yes, it supports her case. I think it raises as many questions as it provides answers, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Now, the one other interesting piece of information in the media today is an interview by the Accor Hotel Group, which owns the Sofitel. Now, what did they say? Their guy said, look, we didn't release this footage of the so-called dance sequence because we were trying to protect the identity of the two security guards in question. Because a lot of people were saying, look, if it wasn't 3 or 4 minutes, as Epstein claimed, why didn't you show us the footage? And they're saying, well, we just wanted to protect the identity of these people. Also, they go into other details in Epstein's article, which appeared in the New York Review of Books some weeks ago. For example, there was another hotel room on the penthouse level that Dominique Strauss-Kahn stayed in. Now, Nafissatou Diallo didn't tell in her deposition that she had gone into that other room on at least 2 occasions. The card key showed the same. Now, the hotel group says we didn't want to reveal the identity of the person in this room, and we're also now telling you why she went into this other hotel room, which some people are attributing to intrigue. She went in, found that the room was occupied, left, and went back in again later to clean it. So they're saying, guys, stop. There's no conspiracy theory. She was doing her job, you know? So I suppose what we can say really is that it doesn't totally dismiss some questions brought up by Epstein in his article, but it doesn't really confirm either anything else.
I was going to say
the difference in time is quite peculiar.
That's it's interesting that the journalist's interpretation of that maybe raises questions about him more than anything else.
That's it.
But you say hotel maid enters hotel room. It's hardly a story, is it? You know, so I think
the key thing is that 15 seconds versus 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Where did he go wrong? How did he go wrong? And why does the video show it so much shorter? It's very peculiar.
Will he ever work again? I doubt it. What's next, sir?
All right. Well, I wanted to show you this, Mark. It's Courrier International. They take articles from the world's press and they were translated into French.
It's a good publication.
It's interesting. Les Parisiens. So they have this big special this week on how
c'est Parisien.
on how the Parisians are viewed abroad. Because there are a lot of cliches, there are a lot of stereotypes. And there was an article in the New York Times this week about all the different tribes in Paris. The bobos, the tourists, the joggers, the bankers, the flaneurs, the guys who kind of go along the boulevard kind of looking very, you know, what would you say?
Which one do you fit into, James?
I don't know. Somewhere between a jogger and a bobo. Will we go with that? I don't know.
Okay, all right. I've never seen you running.
And a tourist. But anyway, but I suppose what they're saying in Le Courrier International is that there is quite of a simplistic view of the Parisian from the
all
outside
stereotypes
world.
are simplistic.
That's right. That they're envied and admired, but actually it's a lot more complex than made out to be. Another article they point out, the Sunday Times, says that all English girls dream of the Parisian male as their ideal man because they undress you with their eyes, and they're like, you know, Don Juans. And I was talking to this earlier with various English ladies in the room. They didn't seem
too impressed by that, because I think I'd have thought most English women would find that behaviour as like a bit pervy.
That's it. That's actually the general impression I get too.
Yeah.
That English girls don't like that.
Why would you like to be looked up and down like some weird guys and dressing with that? That's not funny.
They don't like it.
It's not nice.
Now, speaking of foreigners and how they view the French, let's take a look at this sequence. It just came to mind. It was on Saturday Night Live in March of this year. This is how they parody young people in Paris.
Okay.
Vous regardez France 3, la télévision super cool.
Ah ouais. Avez-vous mangé la quiche?
Oui, beaucoup.
Ah ouais.
Francois?
She had been eating quiche, and it obviously appealed to him.
Okay.
Do you eat quiche? Yes, I do. And then a very romantic moment. So I don't know what that means about the American perspective on French or Parisian people.
I think what's quite strange is you described it as a romantic moment.
Right, it is.
It says more about
very
you.
Very romantic. Quiche.
James Creedon, as ever. It's a privilege speaking to you.
Thanks, Mark.
And enlightening too. Thank you, sir. James Creedon, the man we call, for short, Media Watch.